Hi, my name is Robert Wray. We're here at CES 2011, and I'm with David from NuVation. And what we're sitting in the first electric-cooled three-wheel motorcycle that's ever been made. It's actually an entry into the Xprize contest, and this thing has a ton of power, a ton of speed, and some really interesting features. So we're going to go through the tech details in a second, but maybe we could start with some of the specs, like how much power does this have, how much torque do we have, what's our max speed, 0 to 60 time, all that good stuff.
Okay, well, it's driven by a fully electric motor, which is 125 kilowatt, and that's equivalent to about 170 horsepower. And it's a three-wheeled motorcycle, legal in all 50 states, and it does 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. It does over 150 miles an hour, and you can go 200 miles roughly on a single charge. At highway speed, at 60 miles an hour, it'll do 100 miles, and essentially you can charge the battery up to 80% of its capacity in just 20 minutes. So it has a very high energy density. It absorbs electricity very quickly. A standard outlet charging at home at 220 volts would probably take about 4 hours. But at a charging station, you could essentially get 80% of your range topped up in 20 minutes.
Okay, how much does the car weigh?
So the car weighs 1,800 pounds. Okay. And it is, of course, it uses regen braking, so you can actually use a lot of your braking
so that's
power
what the
to
three
regenerate.
pedals are for. We have the center pedal was for hydraulic standard braking,
right,
and then the left pedal is for the regenerative braking.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And you were saying that you get 60% of the power when you use the regenerative braking that goes back into the battery, and it seems like that from what you'd explained that you can use the regenerative braking almost all the time, and the only reason you use the hydraulic brake was for an emergency type of situation.
Yes, or I mean, you can use a combination of both, but the regen braking is so linear and so effective that it's the preferred method of once you drive the car, you'll get a feel for it that it is the preferred method of driving.
Very good. Well, let's so some of these there's a whole bunch of knobs and gauges and switches here, and they all do varying things. So some of them will engage the relays, which engage the battery in the back of the car, because we don't want hundreds of volts constantly on in the car. So that's what some of these different switches do. That instead of having a shifter to go in forward and reverse, we have a little switch, and you switch it to forward to go forward, and you switch it to reverse to go in reverse. And so there's a number of other indicators and timers and things like that here in the cluster. But we have a reverse camera here that's up in the center console. And the computing part of the car we're looking at here on the screen. And this is powered by an Intel computer that's tucked up underneath the dash here. And that computer is sensing the data off a number of boards here in the back of the car. Everything from voltage in all the battery cells to temperature in the battery cells to make sure that things aren't getting too hot, and making sure that all of the water cooling systems are working properly. And you can switch back and forth between these various different screens to see torque and voltage and current and RPMs and pretty much all of the data that you might want to know to make sure that the car is healthy, or if you're racing, to make sure that you're in good shape. So a lot of interesting features here in the car. And NuVation's main business model is doing consulting in the electrical engineering world. So they're kind of looking at this more as a way to show off some of their skills in that space and to show this as the type of work that they can do. So great car, and it's a great demo, so thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching our blog.